We hear you, really, we do. Turn Cena heel, let's see a Cena heel turn. There's still time to turn Cena heel, and it's understandable. Heels, aka bad guys, get to have all the fun. And because of the way wrestling likes to tell tales of heroes overcoming the biggest and baddest men and monsters on the planet, top heels also get to be the centerpiece of many a story, often even the entire show. The best heels are often ones justified in their actions, or simply so detached from the norm that we barely understand them. In the case of the latter, guys like Brock Lesnar perfectly fit the mold, and are therefore more often than not career bad guys. But in the case of the former, there's usually a trigger that points them towards the dark side, and provides us with a sign of how dastardly they are. Often these guys are holier-than-thou good guys with a lot going for them until snap. In this list, we're going to look at some of those guys and, more accurately, the moments in which their character, motivations and actions met to produce some of the most memorable changes of attitude in wrestling history. These are the 10 best WWE heel turns ever. Join us. Number 10. Austin aligns with McMahon. At WrestleMania X7, something big happened. It's ranked at number 10 in this list because not everyone agreed with what went down. This moment was a huge deal in wrestling history, not just because it made a stir, but also because it affected wrestling a lot. When Stone Cold Steve Austin turned bad, we call it a heel turn. It was a major highlight of the Attitude Era, which many think was the best time in wrestling ever. It was the climax of a big rivalry between Austin and The Rock, and it also mattered in the ongoing fight between Austin and McMahon. This happened in the headline match of WrestleMania X7 in Houston, Texas. Stone Cold, who was a hero from Texas, faced WWF champion The Rock. There were no rules in this fight, making it a really special moment. Remember that My Way video? That's how big this was. Before the match, Austin told Rock he had to win no matter what. And during the match, Mr. McMahon, the bad guy boss, gave Austin a chair, helping him win the title. People wondered, was Austin just really desperate to win, or did he team up with his old enemy McMahon? Well, after the match, they shook hands, and fans were worried. Turns out, Austin joined the bad guys. Jim Ross, the announcer, said it perfectly, calling it Austin shaking hands with the devil. Number 9. Sergeant Slaughter turns on America. In the midst of the First Gulf War, there was a surprising turn in the wrestling world. Sergeant Slaughter, once a patriotic army sergeant and the voice of a G.I. Joe character, transformed into an Iraqi sympathizer, making him the biggest villain in the wrestling scene. Known for rallying the American people with his patriotic persona in the 80s, Slaughter took a dramatic kayfabe turn during his absence from WWF between 1985 and 1990. Upon his return, he shocked fans by aligning himself with Iraq, even going so far as to claim that Saddam Hussein did not invade Kuwait, but conquered it. This abrupt shift from the ultimate patriot to an Iraqi sympathizer was so extreme that it garnered real-life death threats from outraged fans who opposed Hussein and the Iraqi regime. Despite the controversy, Slaughter's heel turn catapulted him to the WWF Championship and the main events of WrestleMania 7. Number 8. Tommaso Ciampa betrays Johnny Gargano. At NXT TakeOver Chicago, something big happened that made everyone feel shocked. It was a huge moment in 2017, maybe the most important one in NXT history, that got fans really invested. It was so well done, from how they acted to how it was shown on TV, that it just had to be on our list. After DIY lost a big match against The Revival and the Authors of Pain, they got special attention from the NXT crew. They were shown as brave losers and were given time to be cheered on by the fans, like how wrestlers who move up to the main roster are treated. They even had the NXT show's end graphic appear, showing that the show was done. But then, something unexpected happened. Ciampa, who had been friends with Gargano for a long time, turned on him. It was heartbreaking to see their friendship end on TV. These two had gone through a lot together in WWE. They had even fought each other in the Cruiserweight Classic. And just before this big moment, Gargano had saved Ciampa from getting hurt by a ladder. The way it was set up was really clever. They made it seem like Ciampa wasn't going to turn bad. This twist played with what everyone expected and hit us with a surprise that felt as shocking as any big bad guy turn should. Number 7. Chris Jericho throws Shawn Michaels through the Geritron Brawl 2008. This list shows us something important. When good guys become bad guys, it works best when there's a clear reason why. In 2008, Chris Jericho did just that, turning into a bad guy by attacking his longtime idol, Shawn Michaels. The moment happened on Jericho's talk show, The Highlight Reel. He tossed Michaels through his own Geritron TV screen. Why? Well, people still loved Michaels even after he cheated to win against Batista, with Jericho as the guest referee. Jericho felt disrespected by how fans overlooked his part in the whole story. It was like a twist on Michaels' own past when he threw his partner Marty Jannetty through a glass window years before. Jericho wasn't just mimicking Michaels anymore. He was playing the same game but with different rules, darker and morally tricky. This wasn't just a heel turn for Jericho. It marked a big shift in his career, showing how he grew from a cocky young superstar to a seasoned and smarter veteran. For Michaels, it felt like history repeating itself. The fan, who learned from Michaels' teachings, had now made an impact similar to the 1992 barbershop incident. From start to finish, it was an incredible story that unfolded in the ring. Number 6. CM Punk on The Rock, brought 2012. In 2011, CM Punk spoke out about his WWE grievances in a famous speech. People rallied behind him, and by 2012, he was a top star. But when The Rock returned for WrestleMania, it echoed Punk's earlier words. "It bothers me that The Rock's headlining, and I'm not." Punk's frustration simmered, tied to his rebellion against WWE's management. Months later, on a Raw episode, it boiled over. Despite Punk's soaring popularity, The Rock had taken the spotlight at WrestleMania. That night on Raw, Punk snapped. He felt ignored by the higher-ups, and The Rock represented everything he disliked about WWE. With one powerful move, everything changed. Punk, once the hero, became the villain. He held the championship longer than anyone in modern times. His clash with The Rock signaled a shift, a time when Punk became the bad guy everyone loved to hate. Number 5. Seth Rollins turns on the Shield. In 2014, during a Raw episode, Seth Rollins did something that shocked everyone in the wrestling world. He used a steel chair to hit his Shield teammate Roman Reigns from behind, breaking up the Shield group. This move changed a lot in WWE wrestling. Rollins joined the Authority, while Reigns and Ambrose went separate ways. The Shield, as everyone knew it, was over. It was a big twist, and it was done really well. People thought Ambrose might do something like this, but it was Rollins who did it. He teamed up with the Authority, who were the exact opposite of what the Shield stood for. Many felt it was time for the Shield to split, but the way it happened was unexpected. Reigns acted as if he was seriously hurt, falling against the ropes. Ambrose showed a mix of surprise, confusion, and then anger. It was a mix of everything: the actions, the reactions, and the story, done by talented wrestlers who made it all believable. Number 4. Andre the Giant aligns with Bobby Heenan to chase Hogan and the title. When the strongest force meets the toughest opponent in wrestling, sparks fly. Andre the Giant challenged Hulk Hogan for the WWF title at WrestleMania 3, and it was a huge deal. It all went down during Piper's Pit in 1987. Andre, with Bobby Heenan by his side, appeared confident and ready for action. He challenged Hogan for the title, ignoring their past and Heenan's previous wrongdoings. Andre even tore Hogan's shirt, leaving him bleeding and upset. And just like that, the stage was set for WrestleMania's biggest main event ever. It would be Hogan, the 3-year reigning WWF champion, facing Andre, a giant undefeated for 15 years, for the title. The match became a legendary moment in wrestling history. Number 3, Shawn Michaels throws Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window. The breakup of the Rockers in 1992 is one of the most remembered moments in wrestling, especially for the unexpected turn of Shawn Michaels on his tag team partner, Marty Jannetty. This heel turn is often replayed because of its impact on both characters and the emotions it stirred in fans. The incident took place on a talk show and was foretold by Bobby Heenan, who quickly changed his tune from predicting eternal friendship to saying, "I knew he was going to do that," as Michaels delivered a devastating kick to Jannetty. What followed was a heartbreaking scene as Michaels, with a newfound self-assuredness, threw Jannetty headfirst through a glass plate on Brutus Beefcake's barbershop set. This act not only marked the end of the Rockers, but also solidified the suspicion that Michaels had planned the betrayal all along. The aftermath saw Michaels rise to main event status at WrestleMania and enjoy 2 iconic runs at the top of WWE, while Jannetty faded into obscurity. Number 2. Randy Savage turns on Hulk Hogan in wrestling. When big stars like Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage team up, you know there's gonna be trouble. They were known as the Mega Powers, and people loved seeing them together. But as they got closer, so did Hogan and Savage's wife, Elizabeth. She started being really friendly with Hogan, celebrating with him after wins and spending a lot of time together. Savage felt uneasy and got more and more angry. Then, when Elizabeth got hurt and Savage blamed Hogan, he lost it. Savage thought Hogan was trying to get too close to his wife, and he couldn't take it anymore. He attacked Hogan, starting a huge fight between them. At WrestleMania 5, the mega powers collided in a massive showdown. Savage's anger turned him into a top bad guy, but it was a move that people would never forget. It changed Savage's career and became one of the most memorable moments in wrestling history. Number 1. Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13. At WrestleMania 13 in 1997, something huge happened. Stone Cold Steve Austin faced Bret Hart in a match for the WWE Championship. It was a match filled with passion and struggle. Austin, the rebellious and determined wrestler, clashed against Hart, a veteran known for his dedication to honor and rules. The fans had grown tired of traditional good guys like Hart and were craving something different, something edgy. As the fight unfolded, it became a captivating story of a seasoned pro getting frustrated with a relentless newcomer. Hart's frustration led him down a darker path, breaking his usual code of honor. He became aggressive and less principled in the ring, driven to stop Austin by any means necessary. But Austin, refusing to stay down, showed incredible resilience. In a powerful moment, despite the pain, Austin wouldn't surrender. Hart, relentless in his pursuit of victory, forced Austin into submission with the sharpshooter. The twist came as Austin refused to give up, passing out instead of tapping out. This unforgettable moment turned Bret Hart, the hero for so long, into a villain. It was a stunning change that left fans shocked. Hart became the company's biggest bad guy until he left 6 months later. And that's all for today. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates.